So Vidya, what is the form of cinnamon that you use at your home?
Depends on what I am making. So basically, if it is a tea or there are certain recipes which actually request for powdered cinnamon, then it will be powdered. But most of the time, it is the stick cinnamon that I use because mostly in curries it's fine with as a stick. So mostly stick is what I use.
That's great. So, why do you think Ceylon cinnamon is used? Or what do you think are the benefits of the Ceylon cinnamon?
So for me, the primary one that attracted me to Ceylon cinnamon was the taste and its aroma. Basically, when you compare a normal cinnamon, like the one that you usually find in the market, which is called as a cassia cinnamon, and the Ceylon cinnamon, you will actually see that the Ceylon cinnamon, even though it has a bit lighter aroma, it's there for a longer time. Even if you are storing it in the same manner, what you will notice is that cinnamon, the taste and the flavor lasts for a longer time. And then there are obviously the additional health benefits which come in. The coumarin levels in cinnamon is lesser than the cassia, and which is in a longer run healthier for our health. But given the amount that we usually use, it doesn't matter much. But for me, I'll say the taste and the aroma.
Okay, so if you have to like prioritize, put an order of priority to this, what would you
Okay,
say?
so then for me, it's taste and aroma comes first, then comes the health benefits, and then there is with all kinds of cinnamon, there is this additional value of stress relief, so that is also there. So,
Great. Um, are you aware of various other cinnamons that are there in the market? I know that you spoke about one.
yeah, so in Indian market, usually what you see is Ceylon cinnamon and the cashew cinnamon. Cashew cinnamon is the ones which are the most commonly found. It's cheaper also, but as I said that the smell or the aroma or the taste of the cinnamon, even when you are storing both of them in the same conditions, cinnamon actually lasts for way longer time. And again, the concept of coumarin comes in where cassia has a higher amount of coumarin, which in a longer run is not good for health. So, Ceylon goes.
That's wonderful. So typically, who does the purchasing in your home?
Well,
Like,
I do stay alone, so I have to do.
okay.
I do it by myself.
And where do you buy?
Usually for items like this, where your spices mainly, I prefer nuts and spices or brown tree, where I can usually go see and buy. And there are certain brands also which are quite good, like Organic Harvest is there, which has a pretty good storage. But then again, once you visit any of the organic stores, you can find these things there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you tried any online channels, or is it
No.
completely you like to?
So yeah,
You
for
like the
me like
feeling?
yeah, for me
Okay.
the grocery shopping, like at least the spices part, I
Yeah.
rather prefer to go see.
Yeah.
And expiry date matters. The packaging date and expiry date matters. When you are doing online, you actually cannot focus on that, so that affects a lot. So you don't have any control on your packaging date when you are buying something online. But when you go to a grocery store, you can always check what is your packaging date, and you pick what is the recent, so that the expiry date is also
Makes a lot of sense. As you might be aware, Ceylon cinnamon is higher priced than the normal cinnamon. So, uh, how are you think? How are you? What is your perception about that?
good things come at a higher price.
So you're saying that you're more concerned about the quality of the.
Yeah, see, the thing is that if you look at the prices, is the price difference that like that huge? I don't think it is that huge. So, cashier, obviously, if you are going to a regular grocery store, it is lower price. But even cashier, if you are going to an organic store, will be higher priced. Compared to that, Ceylon is a tad bit higher, but at the end of the day, the cost variance is not that much, and most importantly, the quantity required for me is not that huge, so it doesn't make too much of a ding in my budget of groceries basically. So I don't care much. And yeah, as I said, quality comes tends to come at a higher price. So
Okay.
sometimes you do have to spend more.
Good. So, a question like, how would you feel or react if the Ceylon cinnamon is not available tomorrow?
My gravy's taste will go bad, go down by a notch, I guess. Yeah, it will be, at the end of the day, humans do tend to adjust to things. But yeah, the taste difference will definitely be there. But then again, cassia is there and you will have to go back to it. But once it's like once you are used to cinnamon, Ceylon one, going back to cassia actually feels quite it actually feels a bit like okay, you can feel the difference. But if there is no other option, then you will have to look for an alternate one. So
Great.
hopefully they are not going to stop.
Okay. What is that one that thing in Ceylon cinnamon that actually appeals to you? Like,
As I said, the aroma of Ceylon cinnamon, even though it is a bit lighter or tad bit lighter than the cassia, uh, it is something that is kind of memorable rather than cassia. You can actually you once you are putting it in a gravy, when you like put it in the oil, the smell that emanates from it is something that you will remember. So obviously, see, health benefits are there. I'm going to tell you, it is definitely there. But then with the amount of cinnamon that I regularly use, it doesn't affect much. But yeah, the smell and the flavor that you do know,
that
I'm
is
a
good.
foodie.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're the perfect person for this
Yeah.
interview. So, why do you think this is important? Like, the taste, the odor, the health benefits.
uh, Humans do have a tendency of prioritizing smell and looks quite a lot. But yeah, as I said, over a period of time when you are continuously consuming it, and given the fact that cinnamon has a lot of health benefits also, so if you are actually getting the health benefits in a better manner, then why not?
Absolutely, it is so important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Indian cuisine, like when you take Indian cuisine specifically, it has so many medicinal ingredients that are usually incorporated into it. Be it cinnamon, be it cloves, be it turmeric. All of them actually, play a very important role in our gut health and in our overall immunity also.
Right.
So the more you stick to it, the more you utilize it, all parts of it, it is actually beneficial. But yeah, I'll go by the taste first.
Great answer. So, what do you think are the beliefs that are related with the cinnamon quality?
If you are going with the Ceylon cinnamon, it has a mildly sweeter aroma, which is on a downer side as compared to the cassia. And you can always, from the aroma, and it's an aroma that you will remember basically, rather than it is not like something which vaporizes very fast. It's kind of like it will be in your nose for some time.
Okay. Anything about the purity? Or
So it's usually thinner than our regular cinnamon, the cassia one, and lighter in color. And it's it will actually, have you seen cigar? So it will be like the rolls of
Okay.
things. So the
Okay.
Ceylon cinnamon usually comes in rolls.
Okay.
It will actually look like very rolled version of a cigar kind of thing.
Okay. And typically, how do you use do you use it in the stick form or how
No,
do you buy the
I
powder?
usually buy the stick form, and if I require powder for certain dishes, I'll just grind it.
Oh, you grind it at home.
Yeah, freshly ground, any spice which is freshly ground actually tastes way better.
Oh wow, learning. So, do you think that consumers, you or the other consumers, are aware of the harmfulness of the cassia cinnamon?
Okay, so as I said before, also we tend to use it on a lower side, like it's very minimal quantity in very like in certain dishes. That is how we use it. And Indian cooking, especially the South Indian cooking, if you go the traditional way, it's all about the balance. So no, I was not aware about this until you came and you were like, you told me that I have to do this. So yeah, coumarin content, as I said, cassia has a higher content, and in a longer run it will cause effects also depending on the quantity you use. For me, I was not keen on it.
Okay, great. Do you think the price of cinnamon has an effect on buying this cinnamon?
Okay, so the thing is very simple, right? It all depends on how much budget you have. For me, it doesn't matter much. There is a difference of, I say, around 100 rupees in 100 grams. That is the kind of difference it comes. But because I stay alone, and for me, even if I buy once 100 grams, it goes for 3 or 4 months. It doesn't matter. But yeah, if it is a huge family where they are using more, per month, the budget constraint might come in. Depends on people to people. But yeah, I think it's not that much of a difference, at least from my perspective.
Okay, that's like when compared to its health benefit, do you think it's like a cost versus
As I said, with the amount that we use, it won't actually
Matter.
affect much. If you are
Okay.
someone who is, using it regularly,
Mhm.
twice a day, thrice a day, in a larger quantity, then you have to be very concerned about it. We don't. So at least I don't.
That's great. What do you think about the availability of the Ceylon cinnamon?
It is usually available in all the organic stores, and nuts and spices and brown tea are in Chennai. It's very easy to find. I've never tried it at my native, so I have no idea. But in Chennai, it's quite easy, and I think Tamil Nadu being very close to Sri Lanka, I think it will be stocked everywhere. Ceylon
Makes-
cinnamon will be there.
Makes
I'm
sense.
not sure if you go to the northern part of the country how it is going to be.
Yeah. Would you recommend this buying other people to buy this Ceylon cinnamon?
Yeah, if it
When-
actually comes up in a conversation, I'll definitely mention that the taste wise or the smell wise, this is better. But again, it's not something that usually comes up in a conversation. Like, I'm not going to go and say,
Understood.
go and promote that you do this.
Gotcha.
But yeah, if it comes in a conversation, and then yeah.
Great. What do you think facilitates your purchasing decision for buying the Ceylon cinnamon?
Smell and taste.
Smelling taste, okay.
You should not ask a foodie like me a question like this.
Huh. And
Interesting.
maybe the health benefit, does that help you with?
At the end of the day, whatever we take, especially with people getting more and more knowledgeable about various facets of things,
Mm.
people do tend to focus on health benefits.
Okay.
And that is there. Yeah. So if I know about it, obviously I'll just go for something which is more healthier for me than which is
Yeah.
not. If there is a price difference is not much, right? So yeah, health benefits always play a very important role.
Right. And I heard you spoke about nuts and spices, and other brands. Like, are you more conscious of buying it from these kind of reputable brands, or are you okay to buy Ceylon cinnamon that's available
No,
anywhere?
usually anyway, it's kind of like I'm used to going to places where I see. No matter what you are buying, once you have identified a place where you are getting a good quality and you can buy multiple things at the same time, you will tend to go to the same place.
Correct.
So yeah, so since there is a possibility, why will I change? If there is no possibility, then I'll have to look for
Absolutely.
avenues. For
And I'm guessing the supermarket is pretty close to you, so the convenience factor.
yeah, it's on the way, so it's not much of a big deal.
Great. And what do you think would be the barriers for not making this purchase for you? Like, what would hinder you from?
Unavailability,
Okay.
I think that will be the only one. Or maybe if a doctor specifically comes up and tells me that you should not be having cinnamon. But other than that, I don't think anything else. The unavailability is always a part. So
Yeah.
I tend to stick to certain brands. If it is not available there, then I'll wait for some time. Usually, I always have a again when it is spices, you cannot store it for a longer time. So you buy it according to the packaging date, and you
Correct.
keep it to a certain duration only. The unavailability of something will take some time.
Okay. And what do you think for other people it might affect? Like, do you think the price will play a part for a normal middle class person?
Yeah,
Or
for a middle class person, yeah. But again, depends on the amount they are using. If it is like, see, cinnamon is not something that we tend to use very much. 100 grams is more than enough for a family of 4 for a month, basically. Because we do tend to use bits and pieces, right? But if it is a person who is, using it in their morning tea, evening tea, using the powder in lot of things, then they will have to be very much concerned about the price. But for 100 grams, and if there is a very evident health benefit, a bit of overspending works. But then depends from family to family. Everyone has their own priorities, so we can't point out on that.
But this has been great, and thanks for this, Dr. Vidya.
Yeah,
It's
you
been
so-
wonderful
You are
interacting.
buying me a coffee for this, right?
And I'm looking forward to having a biryani with the Ceylon cinnamon soon.
Biryani with cinnamon. I'll get you a gravy with cinnamon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot.